Ladies and gentlemen, mostly gentlemen, thank you guys for tuning in today. Arm&Gun here, talking about this beautiful little rig right here. However, before we get into this thing, this video is primarily an overview on this gun here, the ADM UIC Mod 2 Captain Quint rifle. But to set the stage, we're going to have a quick little discussion first on barrel length and legalities as insofar as the United States of America. And that also will encapsulate my title of if you could only choose one AR, or if I could rather, which is quite a loaded question, pretty heavy stuff. And well, barring a couple caveats, which I will disclose here, my pick would essentially be this gun or something very much like it. So first things first, if you guys have followed me for a long time, you'll know that I'm a pretty big sucker for an SBR. A lot of my guns, including this one right here, is a 12.5 inch SBR. Most of the guns I deal with are SBRs. We got the XCR right there. A couple right here. I had a video a little while back on my go-to ARs, which were basically CQB setups. Because for me, my ideal length is between 11 and 12.5 inches. However, there are some serious trade-offs with going with those barrel lengths. And that is additional laws, additional regulations, additional red tape, which is not very fun. And coming in at 13.9 inches, this is not far off. And you get to avoid all of that red tape. So again, United States, as far as you're concerned, this is simply a rifle, not an SBR, not a pistol. There's no stupid pistol brace here. And I say that as a Canadian because I look down on all you guys with your pistol braces. Don't get me wrong, I understand why you do it. I'd be doing the same if my laws were like that up here. But they look friggin' goofy, and if I can avoid a pistol brace, I would pay $200 to avoid a pistol brace. I don't know if I can handle all the red tape that comes with it. I understand that, but this marries that concept. You get as close as you can to get to being an SBR without crossing that fine line. And the interesting thing is, this is not a new concept. This is a 13.9 with a pin and welded Surefire Warcomp, and that makes you over 16 inches. Now, this has been done for a long time with 14.5s. And why 14.5? Well, typically the muzzle devices of the day were the A2 birdcage flash hider type, and those were a shorter overall length. Now, due to the incredible surge in popularity of suppressors, well, most factory ARs are now coming with a suppressor host of some sort. And the interesting thing with, technically speaking, with muzzle devices that are suppressor hosts is they're typically quite a bit longer. So when you're talking a 14.5 with the pin and weld muzzle device, you're going to be like 16.5 to even 17 inches all said and done. And the whole reason to do a 14.5 in the first place is to avoid the SBR laws. So you're trying to go as short as you can go, but still be a rifle. And being 16.5 to 17 inches is leaving a lot on the table, namely up to an inch. And that can matter. So the fine folks at ADM have released a new model that really dials it back and makes the most that it can out of this efficiency. Now, there have been some others that have done this as well. There's some 13.7s out there. This one's a 13.9. You're playing with a couple tenths of an inch here or there. But overall, you're not giving up much in loss of velocity from the 223 or 5.56 round. You are gaining a little bit more in handiness, portability, maneuverability, that sort of thing. You're not really at much of a loss with rail space either. It's actually a really nice compromise. And I've actually, again, those of you that have followed me, these are my kind of two go-to rigs for training. I was doing daily dry fire practice all throughout the fall. And then when I got this ADM, you can see right now, these have pretty much been stripped for parts. I'm guilty of doing that to supplement some other builds for some other videos, such as that guy there. But the last couple months that I've had this ADM, I've been mostly using it in my drills, trying to get a good feel for it, preparing for this video. And honestly, it is a friggin' fantastic rifle. Very light, very handy. Again, I noticed the extra couple inches, but it's not an SBR. It's just comes out of the box, ready to go like this, minus the L-can and the Surefire, of course, but it's a sweet little package. I'm just going to pick it up here. Get our little safety check out of the way. We are clear. Yes, she's an AMBI, full ambidextrous lower. But anyway, here's your gun. Really nice. and just fantastically handy. I've been a big fan. It's been my daily user. If I could lop off 2 inches and still be not an SBR, yes, I would do that. But I'm willing to compromise a little bit for the lack of red tape that this thing embodies. So anyways, without further ado, that's enough rambling about that's enough preamble, I should say. Let's get into it. So we'll start with the receiver group. Well, actually, I'm going to start with a few general comments about the gun itself, and then we're going to get into the receiver group because there's a lot going on here. There's 100% AMBI gun. I like to refer to them as 95% when they only have the AMBI release. This one has an AMBI catch as well, and it's a very well thought out system. I'm a stickler for AMBI bolt catch and release. I kind of have my gold standard, and this is pretty much in line with that. I've been pretty impressed with this system. So we'll talk about the receiver group. We'll move to the back end of the gun, and then we'll do the upper receiver with the front end. The barrel, there's a lot going on with this barrel. It's a pretty special unit, so I'm going to take a little bit of time to talk more about that. Then I'll pop her open. You guys can see the internals really quick. Then again, I'll handle it once again, go through the controls with you guys, and that'll pretty much wrap up this video. I do apologize. I don't have any shooting in this video. That is unfortunately due to some, well, less than favorable bureaucracy and some COVID lockdown stuff. I haven't been able to get out to a range where I can properly run this thing. I got a little bit of behind the scenes off camera experience with it, so that's good. I can relay those initial impressions and perceptions with you guys. But I will be actually doing another video April-ish, and I've got a nice venue lined up where I can run this thing, and I will give you guys a shooting video in all its glory then. With any luck, I can even throw it on a full auto lower and really put it through its paces. Again, enough preamble. Let's jump into this thing. So the overall gun, less optic, less flashlight, less mag, is 6.3 pounds. Again, this is a 13.9-inch pin and weld build, so not an SBR. The overall gun is finished it's a Type 3 mil-spec hardcoat anodize with a cerakote, and I'm kind of particularly pointing this out because I've been incredibly impressed with the cerakote. This is some of the nicest cerakote I ever handled. ADM, kudos to them for the fit and finish they put through their guns through. There are no hard edges on this thing whatsoever. I mean, look at even all these little half moons in this rail here. They've lightened it a ton, and everything is soft, smooth to the touch. Again, I have a hard time believing this is Cerakote, but it's probably the best Cerakoting job I have come across. I say that with full transparency and being ingenuous. I was super impressed with it. Now, this firearm has its name, Captain Quint. That is the character from the famous Jaws movie, and the Cerakote color actually happens to be Bull Shark Gray, which is a very fitting name given the obvious themes and undertones of the movie Jaws. And as we like to say in the late 2010s, brown is the new black. In the 2020s, I do think gray is the new brown, or FDE, whatever you wanted to call it there. But I do expect to see gray being quite a prevalent color for the next few years, and this is a really nice take on that. So the receiver group, well, again, fully ambidextrous, which I'm pretty thrilled about. And while ADM has done a bang-up job of the bolt catch release mechanism, as well as the ambidextrous mag release, they haven't tried to reinvent the wheel in the other areas. Instead, they've leaned on the industry heavyweights, Geissele for the trigger, the G2S trigger, and Radian for the safety. We have a Talon 45-degree short throw safety. You can swap out the little handles on this as well if you want different colors or lengths. Pretty slick stuff. On that note, we do have a drawer full of Radian components, and I might be actually swapping out the Talons and the Raptor on this in favor of something that kind of suits this color a little bit more. We'll see. I'm going to do a upgrading guns video on this thing where we deck it out with, well, the Surefire will be there, the LCAN just might, and a few other appointments as well. We might mess with some of these things while we're at it. But kudos to them for doing that. Again, so the Talon, we have the Radian Raptor. It's my definitely my go-to for a charging handle. Other features on the lower receiver, we have a nice fenced-in mag release, we have an enlarged trigger guard, and a kind of competition cut mag well as well, kind of beveled up in there. It's pretty slick. I like all these cutouts as well. It's aesthetic, but it's also, everything is like all the edges are taken off. It's really nice. They've got some little checkering up front here as well, kind of giving you extra grip if you choke up on the mag well, which is something that I personally like to do. So that's appreciated. On the other side, again, this nice kind of fencing around the AMBI mag release, enlarged bolt catch, and the takedown pins have these nice little divots in them. I've seen other guys do it. I've been lucky to have not done this myself. When these takedown pins are flat-faced, you know, they're meant to, if they're tight, which a good gun, they should be pretty snug. I've got one gun where they pretty much, you turn it this way and they fall out. Not fun. So it's definitely good if they're tight. But if you're really pushing with a bullet and you get a little off angle and you slip off, you're just like asking to mar the finish. So I really like when they have little divots like this for the tip of the bullet to go in and push through. That's always a plus. Now the trigger here, again, Geissele G2S trigger. Give you guys a little bit of a trigger demonstration here. A little bit of take up, firm wall, crisp break, really crisp break. No over travel. And then we'll pop this mag out, give you guys a quick little reset. Yep, audible, tactile. It's nice. Moving back, we've got a QD end plate. We've got ADM's lightweight castle nut, as well as their 10 position buffer tube / receiver extension. We've got Magpul MOE SL stock and MOE grip. In the upper receiver, again, lots of nice little cuts. We have a forward assist, nice little brass deflector, and forward of that, a nice rail. This is mlok compatible rail. It's actually quite slim. I'm actually a big fan. It's very nice to grip. A lot of lightning cuts, a lot of detail there. They've taken a lot of weight. And yeah, it's not rock solid. I mean, if you come up to the very front here and you give it a good push, you can deflect it a little bit. But honestly, for a free-floated system, this is rigid. I've been quite impressed. You have mlok on the 3, 6, and 9. The halfway points are just lightning cuts, but they look good. They look like they allow for excellent ventilation. And again, a lot of time and attention and detail work has been put into this rail to make it both lightweight, aesthetic, and very, very comfortable. Now, internally, we'll just pop this guy open. This is an incredibly tight gun. So first of all, I've already got the receiver pin, the rear pin pulled out. There is absolutely no wobble or flex between the upper and lower. This thing is a rock solid. It feels like it's one machined piece. And to break it apart, it's one of the tightest receiver groups I've experienced. It goes together really tight. That's probably a good thing. It's nice to not have any slop in there whatsoever. And if you guys want, there's also a threaded insert inside, and that you guys can pull off the grip. You can tighten it, loosen it, and that's going to dial out any other movement between the upper and the lower vertically. So overall, very impressed. Also, I should show you guys the AMBI controls in here, the way they work. Pretty slick. That's it there. That's the AMBI catch and release. And that's the AMBI mag release there. Really nice stuff. The carrier is nitrided, QPQ finished, an enhanced carrier, ADM branded. It's a nice unit. All right, so the barrel next. A lot of fun stuff with this barrel. This is a 13.9-inch Criterion barrel. This is their core series. So ADM specs this out. It's a 4150 barrel. It's got a continuous taper, which is meant to help with kind of weight handling and balance characteristics. It's a 1-in-8 twist, and it's actually hand-lapped rifling, which is supposed to allow for kind of a perfect bore uniformity, which is going to translate to optimal accuracy. You've also got a polished chamber, which is going to aid in extraction and feeding. And then the barrel is finished in nitride for extended durability. And again, topped off with the Surefire muzzle brake. So one quick thing I missed here, this is a 13.5-inch rail, though the production guns will ship with a 13-inch rail. I have a 13.5-inch because I got this gun incredibly early, actually before they had their 13-inch rails done. So I've got a 13-inch rail coming to me. I'm going to throw that on when we do our operating guns video. So guys, I'll show you guys how to do the handguard swap in that video. But otherwise, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for features and specs. So we'll get into controls now. We have the mag release right here. So charging handle, bolt release on the left side, mag release. Switching over here, we have on this side your bolt catch and release as well. So pull the bolt back, lift up with your finger. That's going to hold it. You'll note that the bottom of the catch is kind of squared off, which is nice to get your finger on to lift up, whereas the top side is tapered and serrated for a nice grip as well. So I really like that. Plus, there's not a lot of spring pressure behind this. Overall, this is easy to manipulate. I'm kind of a stickler for AMBI systems. I like when a gun does it, but if they do it poorly, I'm not super impressed. If they do it well, that's the challenge. And ADM definitely has done a well thought out system here that's easy to manipulate, not uncomfortable, not awkward. So I commend them for that. I really like this system. And then guys, we'll wrap up here with my shooting impressions from the limited shooting I've done with this thing. Guys, it's smooth. This gun doesn't move. I've been incredibly impressed with the gas system and how it's been tuned. It has actually been tuned from the factory to work both suppressed and unsuppressed with the gas port without any adjustment from the user. It's not adjustable, so there you go. This is a DI gun. I didn't mention that, by the way. This is a direct impingement gun, no piston. So basically the good old AR technology that's been down since the beginning, like this SP1. But guys, yes, I was incredibly impressed. It's got a compensator on it, sure, but the gun, it did feel very well tuned. It's not jumpy, it's not short, it's not like it's producing a ton of concussion. It's just a really nice, light, handy, usable, shootable rifle. And to that, I'm very grateful. Again, I did a video quite a while back on, it was the top 5 most practical firearms. And honestly, guys, my number one pick in that, I had pistols, I had shotguns, I had a bolt action 308. But at the end of the day, the most practical gun for, I think, most people in most situations is going to be an SBR. You don't need a crazy amount of length. You don't need to worry about a ton of velocity or a ton of range. You're hardly ever going to use that outside of taking a really far off hunting shot. I think SBRs are honestly where it's at. And if you want to avoid all the red tape of the NFA, go with a 13.9 or a 13.7. And guys, this is a fantastic option out there for you. So full disclosure, yes, this rifle was provided to me by ADM. Not really so much for a review, mostly just to produce content on it. It was a new model release for those guys. And they obviously, they want pictures of it out on Instagram. They want video content on YouTube. My opinion is not for sale. I'm going to call the shots as I see them. And I've, again, limited shooting experience. I've had no problems in what I've done with it. But for my daily dry fire drills, I have really enjoyed this length. This is currently kind of the setup I'm running right now. Surefire Scout Light, Elcan, Spectre DR. It kind of came from the factory with the appointments that I like the best, the Radian stuff. I would have thrown that on there if they hadn't. But honestly, good stuff. I might throw an extended, like a Battle Arms Development makes a really nice extended mag release. Might throw that on there. I might play with that as long as it doesn't interfere with the catch and release. But the rail is great. I'll get the 13-inch, the shorter rail on there when I can. Anyways, guys, I have a bonus gun for you, which is in the safe. So I'll move this guy out of the way, crack this guy open, because the next video, I'm just going to give it away now, is going to be on the SIG Rattler. I've owed you guys an upgrading guns video on this thing for a long time. I finally got some extra kit in there that I was waiting for it. So we're going to go ahead and do the upgrading SIG Rattler video real soon. That'll be the next video to drop. Guys, if you like my content, I have 5 things for you. Actually, I have 6 things for you now. Because it's 2021, we had to add one. But please like, comment, share, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and tell a friend about the channel. Big Brother is against us all right now. They're kind of clamping down. Instagram, basically, if you're a gun page, you're essentially shadow banned. Just even try it. Try typing in @arm.and.gun. My page won't show up until you punch in the N. then it's top of the list. But until then, it's not even there. Unreal. A lot of funny stuff going on with shadow ban stuff. I don't expect YouTube's gonna be much different. I think our content gets suppressed. So, you know, do what you can. Follow me, tell a buddy, and follow, you know, other gun channels as well. Ones you like. Share the word verbally. That's the only thing they can't control. They can't suppress who we actually tell word of mouth about stuff. So thanks a ton, guys. I really appreciate it. I'll catch you on the next one. Arm&Gun out.